Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either February 7th or 8th, 2023, and I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? Well, we're back to the traditional format of this video this week with me back on camera. Thank you for those of you that were patient and allowed me to do my little shift in the format last week. Let's go ahead and start off this video first by taking a look back at my pick from 2 weeks ago, which was Sins of Sinister, issue number 1. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile pick to be my just one book pick of the week? The answer is no. No, technically no. It was good. I found it entertaining. I see what is interesting about it there, but in typical Marvel X-Men fashion, it's extremely heady. And a cool concept and going in an interesting direction, but it wasn't necessarily as fun as I thought it might be. It was a bit dense, and I don't know how much it's going to play out in the Marvel comic universe at large. So I like Mr. Sinister, I like the X-Men, but the X-Men of the modern era just kind of leave me wanting for more, and this book was no exception. If you read Sins of Sinister issue number 1, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. All right, let's go ahead and move forward now and take a look at the books that are coming out this week. I gotta tell you, it is not a very exciting week for comic books. So far this year has not been super exciting. So it goes. But I do have some books that I want you to have on your radar, so I'm gonna let you know about them right now. First off, I wanna just kind of give you a heads up for something, just in case you aren't already aware of it. There is this cover right here for Amazing Spider-Man issue number 19. It is an homage to the Fantastic Four issue number 1, done in a Disney style with Disney characters. This is in celebration of Disney's 100th year. And of course, Marvel, as part of Disney, is helping to celebrate that. These covers are fun and entertaining, and there are going to be a lot of these. Once again, not necessarily associated with the book that it's the cover for. For example, this is a Fantastic Four cover on the cover of an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 19. It's issue number 19 of Amazing Spider-Man inside the current issue, but on the outside it's this homage. These might end up being collectible. They are fun, so if you're a Marvel fan and a Disney fan, you should get all over these. I believe this is the first one of these coming out this week, but keep on your radar the fact that there are more to come. All right, the first book I want to mention to you this week is a new book. It is called Monarch, issue number 1 from Image Comics. Here's the description. Series premiere. A new tale of terror and high-stakes science fiction hits close to home. Growing up in the city of Compton is tough enough as it is, but as Trayvon has learned all too well, growing up as an orphan in the city of Compton with gang members hunting you down every day is even tougher. But all of that is about to change, because today is the day that aliens make first contact with Earth, and it only spells doom for life as we know it. Death, devastation, and mayhem. Can a single teenage boy rise to the challenge and protect his surrogate family and friends, or will he die trying? From Rodney Barnes, the star comics writer behind the Eisner-nominated series Philadelphia, and the writer/executive producer of HBO's Winning Time, and up-and-coming Marvel artist Alex Linz, comes a new tale of love, triumph, disaster, and defeat. Okay, so if the description of the plot is interesting to you, that might be a reason to pick this up. Frankly, the description of the plot doesn't really do it for me. I almost wasn't going to mention this book this week. The reason I am mentioning it is because it is from Rodney Barnes, who is the writer of Philadelphia, which I will admit I've never read, but I know that there were lots of people who really, really enjoy it. If you're one of those people, you might want to consider checking this out, since it's also written by the same person. But mostly I'm mentioning this because this writer, Rodney Barnes, is also the writer / executive producer of HBO's Winning Time, which is also something I haven't seen, but something I really do want to see because I've heard that it's quite good. So if he's turning out good television products and he has a solid connection in the world of developing and creating television shows, who knows? Maybe Monarch will have a future in television someday. Maybe this would be a good book to pick up to read, issue number 1, see if you like it, keep reading it. If you don't like it, file it away and keep it for spec. I don't know. But I'm probably not going to pick it up, but I mention it because there are some bits of information that are interesting, so I wanted to share it with you. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Harrower, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Boom Entertainment. Here's the description. There's nothing to fear in the quaint town of Harrow, New York, except, that is, for the Harrower. The children wish this boogeyman was just an urban legend, but this purveyor of puritanical vengeance against the unrighteous is very real, and there's no escape, because the Harrower seems unkillable and spans generations, always returning. What secrets will Alice Young, a teenage girl obsessed with the Harrower, uncover? And will she be able to escape the pull of her morbid fixation? This deconstruction of the slasher genre is the fresh and terrifyingly grounded take that is perfect for fans of Bone Orchard and The Closet. Okay, there is something about this description that I do find interesting. Something about the plot, the story, seems like it could be pretty entertaining, even though it's a supernatural force of evil that's been around for generations. These are not new concepts, but I don't know. There's just a vibe I'm getting from this one that if you're looking for some horror this week, this might be worth checking out. It is only a 4-issue limited series, so the commitment is very low. Frankly, one of the reasons I might be interested in this book is because they evoke one of my favorite books from last year, The Closet. I thought The Closet was fantastic. It was kind of sort of publicized as a horror book, but it was more about a story of a father's dysfunction and inability to connect with his wife and child. It was heartbreaking and beautiful and tragic and amazing. I don't know that this is going to be that. It's interesting that they evoke The Closet because The Closet was not traditional horror, and this sounds very traditional horror. So maybe there's a little bit more to the story than the surface level horror. So if something like that seems interesting to you this week, you might consider checking out Harrower. If only it was easier to say. Harrower. Let's move on. The next book that I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called The Exiled. Issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Whatnot Publishing. Here's the description. Rob Willis, known for his contributions to Dan Fraga's Black Flag and Rob Liefeld's New Prophet Remastered, delivers a beautifully inked main cover for this thrilling premiere. Wesley Snipes, producer and star of the Blade franchise, presents his ongoing series, The Exiled, a genre-bending sci-fi noir described as Seven meets Blade Runner. The Exiled follows hard-boiled detective Niles Roach Washington as he pursues a serial killer who is using mysterious, ancient tools to rip the spines from his victims. When forces outside and within the police department attempt to discredit him for his theories, Roach's instincts keep pushing him forward. With enemies on all sides, Roach wades deeper into the conspiracy and uncovers a secret 5,000 years in the making. All right, first, the elephant in the room. This book is from Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes played Blade in the movies. It's probably what he's most famously known for. But in the 90s, I think in particular, he was just in so many movies. But he doesn't really do much anymore. And this absolutely feels like him putting out a project that he would like to star as in a movie. And that's pretty clear when you look at these covers. Each cover looks more and more like Wesley Snipes until you get to the last one, which you'll get to eventually, which straight up is Wesley Snipes. So if, Keanu Reeves is doing the same thing, he made Berserker basically because he wants to play that character. And this was his way of getting that story out there. Berserker is drawn to resemble Keanu Reeves. Well, this is the same thing that Wesley Snipes is doing here. And the story sounds okay. I'm not mad at the story, right off the bat. Seems like it could be interesting. It is only a 6-issue limited series, so if you're interested, it's a low commitment. This book does have some things going for it, and if it does get optioned, if it does get made into a television show or a movie like we're all expecting Berserker to, it might be good to have your hands on this book. I am a little on the fence about Whatnot Publishing. I don't know, I have a bias against Whatnot that is a online platform for selling things, getting into comic book publishing, but that just might be my problem. It's something I need to get over. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy this book because of it. So if any of the things I mentioned interest you, you might consider checking it out this week. All right, I have one more honorable mention, and that is Batman, issue 132 from DC. Here's the description. The mean streets of Gotham have gotten meaner as the likes of Harvey Dent and Killer Croc roam free, brutalizing the population. Where is Batman, and why hasn't he responded to the cries of a city in peril? Can Bruce Wayne find the answers before the mysterious Red Mask captures him? And in the backup story, Tim Drake's hunt for Batman continues. Will Metropolis's newest Superman, John Kent, be able to help the boy wonder with this multiversal story? Or will they both run afoul of an overpowered Toyman? Okay, so I will tell you that this is one of 2 books that I am buying this week. I'm only buying 2, and this is one of them. Why? Because it's Batman, and because it's written by Chip Zdarsky, and because the art is by Jorge Jimenez. This has been the reason I've been buying this run of Batman. I mean, first I got into it because of my guy, James Tynion IV. I learned to love and appreciate, because it's awesome, the art of Jorge Jimenez. And through reading other books, I have also a deep respect and appreciation for Chip Zdarsky. I think he is a fantastic writer. I think I could go so far as to say that he's my second favorite writer in comic books right now. And the work that he's been doing on this Batman title has been phenomenal. I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it again now. If you are a fan of superhero comic books and you are not currently reading Batman, do yourself a favor and pick it up. Batman is an amazing character. The writing of Chip Zdarsky is fantastic. The art from Jorge Jimenez is exceptional. And this story is not just kind of typical Batman punching his way through solving a problem scenario. This is almost a little bit more Bruce Wayne centric, which is something that I am excited to see. There's been a lot of distance between Batman and Bruce Wayne in comic books these days. So I like to see us swing the pendulum back from focusing on Batman a lot to focusing a bit more on Bruce Wayne. So I'm really, really enjoying it, and I highly recommend it for all of you this week. And that takes me to the last book that I am going to mention this week, and it is my just one book pick because it is the book that I am most excited about this week. Once again, as always, this is a very personal pick. The book I am most excited about this week is Spy Superb, issue number 2 of a 3-issue limited series from Dark Horse Comics. Here's the description. Jay is the perfect spy. A spy so perfect he doesn't even realize he is a spy and that he's on a mission, until he finds himself in the middle of a bunch of dead agents and on the run. Taking everything he's ever learned from watching spy movies, he sets off on a mission to rescue a beautiful woman who may also be a spy out to get him and obtain the secret contents of her phone. Okay, so like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it is a light week. There's nothing that really gets me more excited than Spy Superb. I mentioned when Spy Superb issue number 1 was my pick, and then once again when I talked about it 2 weeks later, to see if it was worthy and worthwhile. Issue number 1 was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you took my advice and you went back and you found issue number 1, because I absolutely believe it is worth reading. And because I enjoyed issue number 1 so much in a week that is otherwise very, very light, Spy Superb issue number 2 becomes my just one book pick of the week. And that is saying something, because it had Batman as competition, and I'm really liking this Batman run. But I'm just a little bit more excited to see what's going to happen in Spy Superb. So there it is. All right, that's my video this week. If you took my advice and you went and picked up Spy Superb issue number 1 and you plan on reading Spy Superb issue number 2 this week, let me know that down in the comments. In addition, if you appreciate this information, likes are appreciated by me. And if you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to do so. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.